Okay, so in this problem we're dealing with geometry and trigonometry and specifically lines, angles, and triangles. So let's take a look here. So in triangle ABC, the measure of angle B is 90, BD is an altitude of the triangle, length of AB is 15, and the length of AC is 23 greater than AB. What is the value of BC over BD? So first step always to doing this problems is writing everything out because we can't know what's going on if we don't visualize it. So I already did that here. So let's go through what they gave us. AB is 15, check. AC is 38, check. 23 greater than 15, it's 23 plus 15, which gives us 38. Let's see, B is 90, check. And then BD is an altitude of the triangle. Okay, so what does that mean? Let's dive into that. What does an altitude mean? There's two main aspects that define an altitude. One is an altitude is going to be a line that goes from the right angle of a triangle to the hypotenuse. So it goes from the right angle to the hypotenuse. And also, it is perpendicular to the hypotenuse. That's the definition of an altitude. So perpendicular to the hypotenuse, check, because it's 90 degrees here. Okay, so, and the main question that they're asking us is, what is the value of BC over BD? Okay, so we don't know BC or BD. We could find BC using Pythagorean theorem, but we still wouldn't know BD, so that wouldn't really help us too much. So the way to do this one is to recognize that we have two triangles here. We have a larger triangle and we have a smaller triangle inside of it. If we can somehow find a relationship between these two triangles, let's say they're similar in some sense, then their sides would be proportional, and we can use BC over BD and set that equal to, another proportion of the large triangle. So we first need to establish if there's any relationship between these two triangles. So let's redraw the larger triangle and bigger triangle side by side so we can see what's going on. So this is A, B, C, and then the BDC is a little bit smaller, so this is B, DC. So D is the 90-degree angle, so D is now going to be down here. I just flipped it. B is now going to be up here, and C is still going to stay the same. So we didn't change anything, we just flipped it around so that they're on the same plane. Okay, so what do we know? Well, for triangles to be similar in the first place, for triangles to be similar, two things are true. One is the angles are identical between the two triangles, and the sides are going to be proportional. And this is what we're going to use to solve our answer. So we first need to establish, are these angles identical? Well, they both have 90-degree angles. Check. They both have the same angle C. Check. So let's just say C was 40, for example, because they're the same angle, so they're both going to be 40 or whatever C is. The opposite angle is going to be 50 for both, right? Because the whole triangle has to add up to 180 degrees. If we have 90 and we have 40, then 50 is the only thing left. So their angles are identical because C is the same and the 90-degree angles are the same. So these two triangles have identical angles, and because they're not the same size, their sides aren't going to be, identical, they're going to be proportional. What this means is, let's say we had A is 3, B is 4, C is 5. If we knew that BD was, let's just say 1.5, and we wanted to find what BC over DC was, it would just be equal to 5 over 4, because it's proportional. So we can use this relationship. Now that we've established that these two triangles are similar, let's fill in the sides that we actually know. So they gave us AB is 15, so I'm going to rewrite 15 here. They gave us AC is 38. I'm going to rewrite 38 here. Do they give us anything from this triangle? No, we don't know any side. We could potentially find BC using Pythagorean theorem, but we won't need to. Okay, so if these two triangles are similar, then A, because we're looking for BC over BD, right? This is the question they ask us. BC over BD, right? That's these two sides right here. It's BC, that's BC over BD. BC over BD is going to be equal to AC over AB, right? Because each, we have the hypotenuse corresponds with the hypotenuse, left leg corresponds with left leg, right? So we know those two are going to be the same. So if BC over BD equals AC over AB, well, that's just going to be equal to 38 over 15. And that's our final answer. Okay? All right, so subscribe to my channel. I'll have more videos like this, and I'll have another video on similarity if that was confusing. So, thanks.